because we have a lot to cover. So welcome to today's session. My name is Bisola WhizQueen and I'll be your host alongside my other co-hosts, Taya and Barbara. Today we are going to share a lot. Oh my gosh, we have so much planned out for you. And I promise you by the end of today's session, you'll be so glad that you committed 1 hour sitting down here to learn, gain all the knowledge, and possibly even share insight from your own point of view as well. I want to share some house rules just so that we can keep this more coordinated. Please try as much as you can if you can be in a room where there are no distractions, no noise. Please go ahead and stay there so that you can focus and give this your 100%. Okay. I also want to encourage you to take notes if you can. Maybe you have a pen and paper, or you're doing it on your notes or whatever it is. Please go ahead and take notes because you would want to be able to refer back to it at the end of this session. Then feel free to take screenshots as well. Maybe you see something that we're sharing on screen. Go ahead and take screenshots so that you can refer back to it. If you have any questions, we are going to have a dedicated 15-minute session left till the end. So please keep your questions somewhere so that you don't forget. I highly recommend writing them down so that you don't forget. So write it down somewhere and you can refer back to it in the next, by the end of the session where we have our dedicated 15-minute Q&A session. Then also, if you are here today, I want to let you know this session is being streamed live on YouTube right now, and there will be access to it much later. But I also want to encourage you to take a photo, take a video clip, and post it on your Instagram story, tag us, because we want to give more people access to these things like this so that they can, know what is going on out there. We're talking about Black career, Black wealth, it's Black History Month. We don't want to hoard all of this knowledge and keep it to ourselves. We want more and more people to have access to it so that they can learn, they can position themselves strategically, all of these things. So I want you, if you can, maybe right now during the session, later on as the time goes on, feel free to take screenshots and or pictures, post it on your Instagram. You can tag me at WhizQueen. I'm happy to repost and tag you as well. So I'm going to pass the mic over back to Barbara. She will be starting our session today with career growth and giving it up to Barbara. Where's my sound bar? Okay, I have it here. Did you hear my applause? Yes, 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 yes. That's my virtual applause. I hope you heard it and everyone else did. So
Thank you so much, Bisola. Very much appreciated. Can you guys see my screen? I feel like I ask this question 4 times a day during the week, but it's okay. Can you guys see my screen?
yes, yeah. No,
Okay. Okay. So hi everyone. So my name is Barbara. I love becoming Barb for short. This is just a quick synopsis of who I am. First of all, I'm a wife and a mom. I have 2 boys. I'm also a seasoned product builder and strategist. I currently work as a senior product and innovation advisor for a government agency. So a lot of work happening there, just helping create innovation, transformative ideas, and all those fun stuff. I'm also the founder of Product Manual Academy, which is a platform passionate with helping immigrants, especially, position themselves and get into tech. I'm a big advocate for Black professionals. I'm biased for Black women. So, and everybody that knows me knows that. So I really love to help Black women get it in. They're already in business or even in their careers. And with that, we're able to start our Thrive Along Black, which is an initiative that helps Black people kind of integrate a Black mentee and a Black mentor. We are still working on that, but it's happening as we speak. Personally, I'm an ambivert, and that means that I love to socialize, but when I'm done socializing, I need some time to just heal and get back myself. So that's who I am in all. I'm so excited to be here. This is Bisola's platform, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you, Bisola, for having me here.
this is our platform. We're all doing this
Yes,
together.
this is our platform. Okay, I take it back. And for the next slide, just give me a moment. I will be touching on the career conversation in this entire talk because it is a very crucial conversation, I believe, for every one of us. And while putting this together, something that came to my mind, because I'm also an immigrant, as you all can see, as you all know, and personal stories is very key when we are doing things like that. Something that came to my mind is every time maybe you go to the airport to pick up somebody, just see somebody landing with so much hope, so much dreams in their face, like, let's go and get it, which is what it's supposed to be. You think it's time for you to just make all your dreams come through and all this fun stuff. But unfortunately, for what's happening now, those dreams are not yours for the taking anymore. You really have to almost go and fight for yourself and get those dreams yourself. And we are sharing today just different strategies of ways as a career person to have that edge and move forward as quickly as you can with what you have. So I looked at while looking at all this interested information is the different stages in the immigrant's career journey. The first stage is the newcomer struggle. Is I think is almost the most popular one because young people when they come now, they're not keeping quiet. They're asking questions, they're going everywhere, they're going viral. They're just speaking out their good mind everywhere, which I think is great because it's helping us change the narrative. In the past, we're very quiet, very subdued. People are doing things on the ground, but now young people are going viral, complaining about this, about that, and they're helping other people learn better before they come. So that newcomer stage is the stage that happens between 0 to 3 years, and after that is the midway struggle. You would think that after 3 years, maybe 4 to 10 years, you've arrived and you are doing good, but we have still been able to identify some lifelong struggles that people deal with at that stage. And later on, the later stage that some of our parents, our big sisters, we see that happening, maybe big cousins who have been here for after 10 years, but you still see that struggle happening in their life. So I'm going to take those stages very quickly, kind of highlight the pain points we have noticed, and also give some very actionable insights on how to solution those problems, right? And again, if you have questions, just keep them in your back pocket. Once we are done with all of this, we'll come back to your questions. I'm not sure why my slides are doing their thing, but forgive the slide. Okay, so we'll go to the newcomer struggle. Another name I've seen for this is experience discount. A lot of the time when immigrants come, relocate to a different country, trust and believe 85% of them are well educated. They have their degrees to help them stand their own. They have professional certification. They have very good experiences that will make them soar in any role of their choice. But because it's a relocation, that experience is discounted. Your whatever you have coming with you is usually very devalued, and I won't say it's anyone's fault because the world is in its own demographic. It's the world, but its own countries have their own rules. You have to abide by them. So the first thing is this devalued experience. Employers don't want to believe that your credentials, all those experiences you gained abroad from your home country, that they mean anything. And it's a very frustrating hurdle, but also it's a very realistic one. It's happening every day. And when that happens, the next thing that goes on is that you decide to take a survival job, which is the right thing to do. Because this is Canada, your rent is not annually, you don't have your cousin to feed you for 3 months first. You have to hit the ground running with something. So taking survival jobs is a trap on its own if not done strategically, if you don't have a plan for it. Because before you know, you're just forced working in those places. It takes all your free time. It takes all your free. Don't buy anyone there. Oh. I'm an advocate of non-buy. Anyway, so it takes all your free time, and before you know, even the talents you thought you had, you start almost losing them. So these are the two big struggles I noticed that newcomers between 0 to 3 years have going on for them. And with that, we come to the solutions. From what I've seen, the hundreds of people I've coached and just mentored on my way as well as an immigrant, and from the mentorship I have received from people I look up to in different roles and spheres in life, one of the best ways to make sure this thing happens nicely for you is your transferable skills. A lot of us come with a particular thing in mind. We have a plan that this is what we are going to do, and nothing changes that. In Canada is a different geography. I know a lot of bankers that came here and all they were looking for were bank roles. They did that for a whole year. And after that, wasting time, they went back to survival jobs, which is not a bad thing. But if you have the, what do I call it now, the strengths to, or skill set, you should be able to do what you want. So these transferable roles means that, for example, you worked in a bank in your home country, you're now in Canada. bank jobs are not the only thing you should be able to fit into, because in working in the bank, you've been able to grow your communications roles. You've been able to grow your profit and loss knowledge. So these are things you've been able to grow. And with that, there are so many other places you can work. You can be a communication specialist, you can be a com strategist, you can even just be a financial advisor somewhere. But if you don't know this thing, you just keep going to the bank platform looking for jobs there. So transferable roles are really key. You have to be able to, those roles you've curated with your years of work, you should be able to transfer them. And then ethnic and industry network. Connect with people. I've heard this narrative, Black people don't like helping themselves. I don't buy into it, maybe because I have good people around me, but I just think it's about the person. You connect with somebody who's not working, break out, look for another connection, right? We have how many billion people on earth. You should be able to look for somebody that aligns with you. So those are the two big solutions for me when it comes to newcomers. So your transferable skills, curate them in a way they can also go into other jobs, not just the job you have in mind, and then connect with people as much as you can. There are so many jobs that they don't even meet LinkedIn. They don't get to LinkedIn. They don't get to the platform that you get from just word of mouth. So that's that for the 0 to 3 years. And then we have the midway struggle. This is for between 4 to 10 years. At this point, you've left the survival job and now you finally got a stable job. But what happens here is that you are so happy you got this job, and before you know, it's 4 years after. There's no significant promotion. The money is almost still the same. So it becomes a bit like, okay, what's happening? People are all saying you are so lucky, but you know there's been a cap in your career. So at that point, what do you do? What happened? You hear if you stay in a job for 4 years, whoever is coming in the fourth year is earning nothing less than 30K more than you. It's just what it is, just so you know. So being in that same job, there's this disparity of pay. And I know us being Black as well, it's just unfortunate, but we are not able to speak what we want. And so other people do that, they get paid more than us. Systemic bias happens everywhere. It slows your progress down as well. So these two big things is what affects these particular categories. And you can let me know if you agree with me or not when it's time for question and answer session. But what are the solutions for this? Which is, I think, these are the primary things we should be looking at. So the strategies for ascent here, because you're already in the door, right? Your foot is in the door. You're sitting down in that opportunity. How do you move forward? The number one thing is sponsorship. Sponsorship means you need somebody to take your hand, take you to the door, push you into the door and tell the people sitting there that this is the person I was talking about all this while. That is sponsorship. It's very different from mentorship, right? So sponsorship is you need somebody who is influential. How do you get it? There's so many platforms now. We are building one with Thrive Along Black, where we are able to connect with people who are influential in different places in the companies. And that way we can say, oh, somebody's coming for this job. Is this something you can help with? Can you put in a word? Can you be a reference? Can you be a referral and things like that? The second thing is advocacy, self-advocacy. Unfortunately, your work cannot speak for itself. Work as hard as you want, it will not speak for itself. You see that person that just comes and talks about that one project they did 10 years ago, they talk about it every day, they will still be the ones to get promoted because they're telling everybody with a loudspeaker, oh, I worked so hard. It was almost a 12-hour a day shift. It was so, so you have to advocate for yourself. I know sometimes for example, a new person comes to the team and your manager says, can you help us train this person? You best believe that you're putting that in your resume as somebody who optimized onboarding in the team. That is what should be on your resume. You've done it, you tick it off. Nothing is free, no skill set is lost. So that's self-advocacy. Then upskill and pivot. At a point you know that you need to upskill. Personally, my own MO is that if you haven't put something on your resume in 3 years, you're almost going obsolete. You have to keep upskilling as long as you're a career person anyway. So always try to do that. Sometimes it's a free course. Sometimes it's an opportunity that comes. Try to upskill. Know where your strengths are and keep upskilling that way, right? Don't just go everywhere they say it's happening. What are your strengths? Focus on it, double down, and just keep upscaling. If you do what you love doing, and now everybody cannot ignore you because you're so fantastically good at it, you will get to where you want to be. So that's that for that particular stage. These other stages are the later stage struggle. Here they have a good wealth, but when it comes to maybe buying a property, an investment property, something that will become generational, it becomes problematic because they just have enough to look good for the kids to be fine. So that is one. The other one is the comfort zone track. Whatever is your salary is beautiful, you're fine with it. If inflation happens, there's trouble. But for now, you are good. So these two things are what keeps the later stage guys a bit on that platform. And so the solutions for this again, number one is collaboration. As Black people, we are running a race that is already set up against us. Some of your colleagues, they have two houses that they're inheriting from their grandparents and their parents. You are still trying to get a house, then their children can inherit. These people are great. You know what I mean? So it's a different storyline altogether. How do you make, if you start comparing, you would never get there. One big way to do that is collaborate. There's something you want to do, there's an opportunity. You have friends who can pitch in 20K each and you get 100K and collaborate and build a business. That's it. Before you know, you build five of it and everybody can break away. You're waiting to get 100K on your own and then tell your friends about it. Okay, maybe it doesn't always work like that. You know, one can conquer how many? 10,000, you know what I mean? Two can conquer 10K. So we have to start collaborating. Again, there's this narrative of Black people and all of that. I don't buy into it. I think it's just human. Human beings have the tendency to misbehave. So whoever you deal with, they misbehave, you move on. Your destiny is not attached. It's not a plancetta situation, right? You just move on from them and get better people with you. The second thing is community focus. A lot of opportunities happen in a community. So you have to talk to your community, what's happening, even to your government officials. You would hear so many opportunities if you have that conversations with people around you because now you have a bit of wealth so you can invest. So you have to open up and start getting those opportunities. So those are the solutions for the three stages that we highlighted. So the big takeaway for me here, I think, is community, support and empower fellow immigrants, advocate, be your own champion, talk about what you do, how you do it, the impact you're making, talk about it non-stop. You know, one time somebody said, "Oh, I just saw your organization's advert. You guys are always advertising." So I was thinking about it. Are we always advertising? Why is this person talking like that? And the next day, you know, as I was on Instagram, do you know who the person's advert that was on my page? Harvard Business School. Okay. And I said, okay, whatever. Harvard is still looking for people. And somebody is teasing me. Don't you ever, I was telling my husband, can you imagine this? And we just had a big laugh about it. So talk about yourself. Then the third one, very key, very critical, is skill. You have to keep upskilling to stay relevant. Things are changing. This is the tech era. You have to keep upskilling. While that being said, I'm looking at time. I'm very time conscious. I have 30 seconds more. That being said, if you're thinking of transitioning, as I said, I'm the founder of Product Manual Academy. It's a product management training platform. We help new immigrants, especially transition. And we are also in partnership with Bisola. So if it's something you want to do for the next cohort, use this QR code, go on our website, and with Bisola's code, just put on Wiz15 for payments and you're able to get 15% off your cost payment. Sorry, guys. Off your
No
cost
problem.
payment. Okay. So this is it for today. Thank you so much again, everyone, for listening. I can't wait to have your questions. And yeah, I hope this was good for you as well.
This was an amazing session. If not
Thank
that you've
you.
stolen or you've taken over my screen, I wanted to use my soundboard to give you a huge round of applause.
That's okay.
Thank you so much for that amazing presentation. Wow, you have dropped gems. Like you have covered, you said it all, emphasizing the importance of collaboration,
Mhm.
working together as a community. You
Yeah.
this powerful insight. And I hope you all are taking notes because Barb did not just spend the last 15 minutes here yapping. She's giving us significant tips and strategies to help you make career moves, help you stand out, help you be different in your company, in your industry, in wherever you work right now. Because the truth is, you don't want to be the silent underdog. You want your voice to be heard. You put in the work. Let your voice be as loud as your work. Don't be that person that is working secretly that you're saying, oh, my work will speak for itself. Guess what? It never will. Those people that are doing all the work are making the biggest noise about it, saying that, hey, that project they worked on 10 years ago, they continue to emphasize on it because that's probably their biggest win. They get the promotions, they get all the money. So you don't want to be the one doing things secretly because you don't want everybody to be seeing you. Please amplify your voice and amplify your win. And there you will find a lot of growth and more success. Success isn't just about what you know. It is also about who you know. And now I want to bring Tayo up here on stage to go ahead and tell us. We're going to get into the networking bit of it. Tayo, please, the floor is yours. Thank you so much, Bab, and welcome on board, Tayo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to share about something I'm very passionate about. If you know me, you will know that I'm passionate about this topic, networking. And it stems from the fact that when I came to Canada, they said networking was the next best thing to jollof rice. And I took it like that. I was like, okay, what's this networking thing? And thankfully, I've been able to navigate the world of networking. And I always love to share with anyone that cares to listen on how impactful networking right has been for me. So I'm going to start with a little bit. Oh, too fast. A little bit about me. I am a delivery leader. I'm a speaker. I love to speak. I speak for a living, but then I still do it by the side. I'm also one of my leaders called me community builder. So I decided to take ownership of it. I'm a scrum master at TD Bank. I lead agile transformation. I'm very passionate about networking, mentorship, and career growth. I spoke about being a speaker earlier, and also I love to be on panels. I don't know. I go around being on panel. I'm on one on Monday. I find so much joy in it. Speaking about things that I'm passionate about. My leadership style is affiliative and neutral. I put this here because I always love to talk about how I love to lead, and it's all about showing empathy, by putting myself in people's shoes and just trying to connect with the person, that I'm working with rather than just all about the work. I'm very dedicated to empowering professionals through intentional career moves. I personally have pivoted like 5 times in my lifetime, and I'm not even 50 yet. So every couple of years, I always look at my career. I'm like, what next? What can I do based on what I've built in terms of capacity or capabilities over those years? What do I want to do next? So I believe in the power of relationships and strategic career moves to unlock opportunities. Let's connect and grow together. And you can scan the QR code there. You can see my socials, LinkedIn, Instagram. Those are the two social media I love to use a lot. So I put it on a couple of the slides so you can still get to do that. So let's talk a little bit about networking. I want to pose a question. I'm going to put in the chat. When you think about networking, how comfortable are you with networking? I'm hoping that I'm going to keep talking, but I'm hoping that people can, share insight from their point of view. How comfortable are you? Bisola said it depends. How comfortable are you with networking? You're working on it. Well, you're here, so that's good. Working on it. Okay. I'd rather stay at home. Yeah. Working on it. Someone says 0. Okay. Love it. Learned it the hard way. Okay. Yeah. Osasu learned it the hard way. Getting better. So I guess the crowd that I have here is just the right crowd for those who hate it or hate is a strong word, but for you to be here, this is very, very important. And so you're working towards getting better. And that's even, I would say that's about myself, because even though I use the word networking queen, I know that every time I want to be better at networking and just being strategic and, about the whole networking thing. Initially, when I came to Canada, I thought that networking, being an extrovert, networking would just be, walk in the pack for me. But I quickly realized that networking is so different from being extroverted. While being extroverted does help you with networking, that's not all that networking is all about. It's more than that. I'm going to share that in the couple of minutes that I have. So let's talk about the untapped power of your network. Do you know that you have people within your cycle or circle of influence that have hidden opportunities that you don't even know about? Let's talk a little bit about when we came to Canada, there was a lot of talk about hidden jobs. When you think about looking for a job, the first thing that comes to mind is going on LinkedIn or Indeed or all the network, all the professional social media outlets that we have here. But what I quickly realized while I settled into this my Canadian adult life was that there's so many jobs in organizations that people that I know work in, but they don't even know I'm looking for, and I don't even know those jobs exist. So I'm doing myself a disservice by keeping quiet and not, reaching out to people, telling them what I'm looking for so they can tell me exactly what is available in their space. So there's so many unlocked hidden doors. There's so many opportunities that people don't know exist because they're not talking. You're not talking and they're not talking back at you. So that is one of the things that people miss out from when you don't actually network. My very first job at sorry, not TD now, my very first job in Canada, I got as a result of networking. And it was literally me networking, penning down my words because after applying several months to job boards like on LinkedIn, I know I was keeping track. I had about 65 applications and I only got 5 responses and they were sorry, the usual sorry. But after being frustrated, because I'd never been in that position in my life, I always thought that I would come to Canada with all that I have, I would just get the job. It took me penning down my value added proposition on LinkedIn and sharing in all the WhatsApp groups that we have in Canada, Nigerian WhatsApp group. Only then did I get traction on that post on LinkedIn, and someone within my community, my circle of influence, who is not Nigerian, saw that post blow up, reached out to me and said there was a position somewhere. She interviewed for it, but she is not interested because she had another opportunity, but she's willing to introduce me to the organization. And that's how I got my very first job in Canada, very first real job. The other was survival, as Barbara said. So there's so much there in your network that we're not tapping into by just keeping quiet and not reaching out to our network and our circle of influence. And also, when you talk about career growth, so you've gotten the job. Like, for example, a lot of people know that I work in one of the big 5 banks in Canada. And I remember joining the organization, I meet people, they say they've been there for 30 years, 15 years. And the Nigerian me, I'm like, are you guys kidding me? How can you stay in the same place for 30 years? Unknown to me, 30 years didn't mean that they were in the same spot for 30 years. They were in a comfortable space where they were comfortable with the culture of the organization. They understood the workings, they were, organized, they were aware of the organization, and they decided to stay there because what they saw was a buffet of opportunities. And so once you can build your credibility as someone who delivers excellently in whatever you do, the rest is history. People just tap your shoulders and inform you of opportunities within their circle of influence because they know that Tayo is credible. She shows up excellence in everything she does. So why not Tayo? So that's why you see people, yeah, they work 15 years, but they haven't been on this, they keep growing because the network, the circle of influence, they know about how excellent they show up. They know about their credibility, and all they do is tap their shoulder when opportunities arise and call them to those opportunities. So the tendency of growing your career is so high because you are tapping into your network. Then let's talk a little bit, and I'm not going to talk too much about that because Bab already spoke about that. We're talking about how people that we met here, the problems are not our problems. So when you are trying to figure out how to save up for your first home, they are inheriting fortune, they're trust fund, they have trust fund. So how better can we build generational wealth for our family and the people? You want to be that grandparent that when you die, they're dancing because you have done well by them. So how do we build this generational wealth? We want to be able to collaborate with people with like mind within our community or within our network and invest together. Invest in companies, invest in real estate, reinvest, just invest, and that is the untapped power of your network. If you're not thinking within this line, I hope you've snipped this and you are going to start thinking, how can you tap into the power of your network? So why networking matters, and this is very personal to me. Someone, Otazu, said in the chat that she had to learn the hard way. I want to believe that maybe it was too hard trying to find a footing with a job or whatever. Some of us had to learn the hard way. Thankfully, I'm introvert, I'm extroverted, so it helped. But when you, like, for example, an example I gave earlier, I was thinking just doing the usual business as usual will land me that first job. But I quickly realized after what 3 months of doing the same thing. I mean, madness is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I had to switch gears and just say, you know what, I better tap into my network. And I remember that day that I typed that post and I posted it in all the Nigerian groups and I said, just engage. I don't even need you to give me that job because you might not be in this space. Engage so that people who will give me the job will see it. And that was exactly what happened. So I'm going to start with this, and I really love it. When I was doing the research to put together this slide, it says your network is your Wi-Fi signal. The stronger the connection, the better the opportunities. Your network is your Wi-Fi signal. You guys know how Wi-Fi works. Your signal is strong, then you optimize, you are able to use your device or whatever you're using faster, and you know what it is when your connection is strong. And the same applies to network. As we grow and we are all in Canada. Well, most of us are in Canada or North America. As the more years you stay here, I want to believe that you are better with networking than the year before. So you need to keep nurturing your network to the point where it gives you access to doors of opportunities. It gives you access to people. Bab talked about sponsorship. It's hard to sponsor someone when you don't know them. So most of the time, mentorship grows into sponsorship because mentorship gives you that relationship. So once you have that relationship, you start to plug in all the excellence that you have in you. And then those people, even when the mentorship relationship ends, the official one, they know what you're capable of doing and they'll speak about you in rooms that you have no access. And that's what networking does for you. And we can't overemphasize the importance of building wealth, collaboration ways, collaborative wealth building strategies. And those are kind of things network. And you see how passionate I am because it's very personal for me. We need to tap into our network. And we need to stop talking about how Black people are not great to each other because I have never felt that. Like, I feel like it's the vibe. The vibe that you give is what you get. So if you give a good vibe, the tendency of you getting something bad is very limited. But if you do get it, you better walk away. There's so many people in the world. As Bab said, it's not a placenta situation. If it's not working, you move to the next person. Don't let one experience dampen your heart when it comes to our community. Next slide. So I want to talk a little bit about some myth that we know about, what we hear a lot about networking. Networking is fake. It's not about the people that you know, it's about knowing the right people. I hear that a lot, actually, personally. While that could be true in some situations, but not always the truth. So we hear that it's all about who you know. It's not all about who you know, it's about who knows you. So when we talked about be advocating for yourself, even in your career or maybe in the business that you do, you need to be your biggest cheerleader. Because there's so many people that needs to have what you've given. I'm a person of faith. I always say that we're here in this world for a reason. So if your reason is to impact the world around you, why are you playing small? And if you think about, if it, like, I know that our culture sometimes allows us to be quiet about what we're doing because we don't want to be boastful. But I remember a workshop that I attended a couple of months ago. I am remarkable. I don't know if anybody has heard about it. They said something that I took away from that workshop. It says it's not bragging if you've got receipts. If you did the work and you're talking about it, it's not bragging. You need to get that out of your head. It's not bragging if you got receipts. So you need to be able to advocate for yourself so that people can know you. So when they know you, and then when you think about you, all they think about is your credibility, your excellence, then opportunities will come your way. Let's think about that. So I always hear also networking is transactional. I don't agree. It depends on how you see it. I've said around a couple of people that know me that, to be honest, in my past days, I used to think about what I get from people. But as I've grown over the years, I realized that it's not about what do you want to get from someone. It's about building relationships, listening to people. When you meet someone for the first time in an event, or you want to listen. I want to listen more so that you take one or two things away that you can use to connect back with them. That's the strategy. I meet Bisola at an event, and then I remember the first day I met Bisola, and I don't know, I hope it was memorable because I was able to, I, I had listened to Bisola online. And so when I met her, I was just speaking to the things that she said. And I know that for me, it was an impactful, memorable day because eventually when we had to collaborate on this, we laughed over it. And that's how you nurture relationships. And opportunities will always come to you because it's not about what you get from them. It's about you actually want to know about them and know about them to the extent that you want to think about the value that you can add to their life. And that's what networking strategically and networking in general means to me. And I hope you guys are getting it. So I've spoken about this. You have to network as a poor. You have to be intentional. Listen to people. Don't think about, that Bisola, she has 15 million followers. How can I be on a platform? That shouldn't be what you lead with. You have to listen to her and see, maybe she had pain points, and then you can add value to those pain points. You have to think. Then you have to, yeah, and that's the next point. It takes me to the next point. You need to think about value first. What can I give rather than what do I want to get? You have to leverage on access. So I remember when Barbara reached out for this event, and I was like, oh, I know Bisola, I met her at this event, the other event I said I met her. So it was so easy. I was able to, oh, I'm sure she knows me because I mean, and that kind of thing. So, and then after you have leveraged on the existing ties, you want to be sure that you want to ensure that you are nurturing, you are staying top in mind. For me, I've used my personal brand to do that because when I meet people at events, networking events, or workshops, or conferences, I would take a picture with them. I will post on LinkedIn, or if they post on LinkedIn, I would put a comment about something memorable that I encountered while we connected. That way, people know that you are listening, and they know that you want to nurture that relationship. So it's all about not being transactional, more like trying to make the relationship transformational, not transactional. I don't know if it's like opposite, like you want that impact to be there. So that's what you guys need to think about when you're thinking about networking. I know I'm way above my time. I'm so passionate about this. Anyway, I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna skip this. Let me see. Do I still have time? A little bit of time. How much time do I have?
None.
None. Okay.
But yeah, you
So
can just wrap it up. Yeah.
okay, let me wrap up. Okay, so I want you guys to take away from this conversation how think about networking, about the potential of networking for you. Think about the value you can give to the next person. Think about using what you have right now to build your network. So we have our community, our Nigerian, I hope like our Black community, maybe Nigerian first, Nigerian community first, and then the Black community. Let's leverage on that. Let's leverage on communities or conversations like this to let's start from there. For those that are scared about networking, start your networking from the chat room here. Connect with people. So that way you can have access to their network. And that's how you build your network if you use it the right way. So I hope with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince you, not confused, that networking is the next best thing to sliced bread. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Tara. That was amazing. In fact, I've been taking notes here. My note is full. I will be going back to review it after this session because you spilled so much gems that I'm very sure that everyone listening right now, they have a note full with so much resources, and they know the next steps to help them when it comes to networking. You have just shared amazing tips on how networking can be a game changer, and I know that more and more people will be tapping into this opportunity. But once that door of networking opens, how do you ensure that your finances is working together, everything is coming together, and you are not just, networking for the sake of it? How do you make sure that the value that you have gotten, you can continue to spread it within your family, outside of your family, and generations to come? That is why we are going to be talking about building Black wealth. I'll be the one hosting this session. Let me spotlight myself real quick here, and we can get into it. All right. I love to talk about money. If you follow me on social media, you already know I talk about money. I literally have a whole degree on finance, which makes me even talk about money more and more. I am Bisola, in case you've never heard of me or you're just coming across me for the first time. I'm a licensed financial educator, content creator, and avid traveler. I literally just got back from Peru a few days ago, and I'm preparing for my next trip next month to Jamaica on a brand trip. So yes, I love to travel, and that's just my how I love to have fun. My mission is to empower my audience to master their finances so they can live their best life, whatever that means for them. For me, it's travel. I love to travel. For you, it might be to buy your dream home. It might be for you to send your kids to school debt-free. It might be whatever. But the most important thing is for you to master your finances. So once you have that all figured out, you can use your money to do whatever it is that you want for yourself. I'm very passionate about financial literacy because not a lot of people know how to manage money. Yes, most times people were not taught in school. And for us immigrants that moved to Canada, some of us, the financial system is completely different, brand new. Like, we have no idea on how to figure it out. Sometimes some people have never even had a credit card, they don't even know what it's for, how to use it. And that is why I am there to help demystify these things, to help educate you on how to use your credit card, master your finances, and utilize all of these things to make the most about it. I create content on social media about finance, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle. You can follow me on social media with the handle WhizQueen. I'm literally on all platforms. And I don't just post random content. I post very good content that I'm very sure you get value out of. If you follow me already, give me a 1 in chat because I want to see my people. All right, let's get into it. Why do Black wealth, why is it lagging? Why are we behind? Why is it that it feels like everyone else is getting it together, but we are not? Why is that? And how can we actually shift from surviving to thriving? Because some people moved from their home country here to Canada to, make life work for themselves, for them, for their kids. A lot of people even moved with their kids as well. They want to transform their life, they want to transform their kids' future, and they want to open doors of opportunity for their generations to come. And that's why they move here. But then they move here, they feel like, oh, I'm realizing now I'm Black. I'm realizing now I'm different from these other people. How can I be different? How can I make move? How can I truly build wealth for myself that all of these people already have ahead of me? How can I do that? What are those challenges that we already face? One is wage gap. Oof. How do I even start with this one? We already know these things. Every time I travel, when I was in Panama, the Panama Canal, I was reading the written notes there at the museum there, and they wrote how the Black laborers there were paid significantly lesser than the people from Italy, China, and all these other places. And they all did the same kind of job constructing the Panama Canal. Even the kind of houses they live was completely different. And this thing still happens to today, where just because of the color of your skin, you're paid way lesser than the other people. But how can we even make a difference? It doesn't mean that we don't know the job. It doesn't mean that we don't know how to do these things. A lot of times I see Black people working twice as hard, even harder than every other person in the space, but we are being paid less. So all of these things are stacked against us. Even things like access to capital, funding. You want to start a business, but you don't even have access to getting loans or funding or grants and all these opportunities. Then you get confused, like, okay, maybe I'm just not going to start that business. Or maybe you walk into a bank and you ask that, I would like to know more about raising funds or getting loan for my business. But because they look at it like, who's this person? They size you up. They don't connect you to the right advisor to speak to because they just already size you and feel like there's nothing you can really offer. We face these challenges. Even things like like our financial responsibilities. I know a lot of people that they came to Canada just to school. They are not even working yet, but they still have to send money to their family back home. I've seen this happen all the time. These things happen all the time. The fact that maybe your family, your background, your forefathers, they don't even have generational wealth. There is no money. So how do you say you want to stand out? Because you have all these responsibilities. It's like you are pouring water into a basket because you keep working and working and grinding with nothing to show for it. These are challenges that a lot of us face. Sometimes we even have higher student loan that we carry on for years and years and years. And now all the money you're working, all the income you're making, you keep pouring it into paying down that loan, and you are not never able to build wealth. These are some of the struggles that we face. But how can we shift from just surviving and hanging in there to actually thriving? I would like to start off with explaining the difference between income and wealth, because I know a lot of people don't even understand this. And this is why we have community sessions like this, where you get knowledge, you get informed, and you become aware of what the difference between these two things are. Income is completely different from wealth, right? Income is the money you earn. You show up at your job, you get paid, you make money. That's income. You make profit from your business. That's income. You invest in something, you make dividend or whatever it is. That's income. But income is not enough to help you build wealth. You want to generate wealth for your children, for your future, for your grandkids and great great grandkids. That income is not enough, because guess what? You have to continue to be on an hamster wheel running to generate income. And you can't continue to do that. You need to build assets. You need to think of something that is sustainable, that will bring that money for you continuously, that will continue to grow over time, such that even if you sleep, even if you decide to travel for the next 6 weeks, money is still coming in. That is exactly what is called wealth. Something that you can take a break from. You don't need to do anything, but it's constantly bringing you money. And this is one thing I always say to people when I do my one-on-one sessions with people. I let them know it's not about how much you make. It is about how you manage what you make. I've seen people earning multiple six figures. And when you ask them, oh, so do you have this? They don't have it. Do you have a retirement plan? They don't have it. Do you have a 401k? They don't have it. They don't have anything to show for. But you are making multiple six figures. So where is all the money going to? They can't account for it. They can't explain. They can't tell you anything. Why? Because they have thought that you like just making money is going to be enough. Making income is never enough. It's about how you manage what you make. You need to be strategic. You need to learn skills. You need to invest. You need to do things that would help make your money grow and stack it over time. Now, let's talk about the wealth building playbook, because now that you know the difference between income and wealth, you need to now start focusing your energy on building wealth, because you now know that income is never enough. First, I like to split this into three main categories. I categorize it as earn, save, and grow. Right? These are the three core pillars you need to remember. If not anything, put this at the back of your note today so that you can always go back to refer to it. That if I want to build wealth in this life, what are those things I need to do? One, I need to earn. Two, I need to save. And three, I need to grow. The first thing, when you think about earning, again, we just talked about this, the money you make from your job, passive income, anything like that, anything that you need to put in your time, sacrifice your time, your energy, your skill set, and get paid for is what you earn. Now, you also need to strategize having multiple streams of income, because this is how you get financial security. A lot of people are just one email away from losing it all. One email coming from their boss, from their HR, telling them that, hey, we are done with you. Unfortunately, we have to let you go. That's it for them. But you need to start thinking about ways to build other streams of income. Most importantly, passive income stream, because that is exactly where you get freedom. That is where you get peace. Now you are able to make money in your sleep. Now you are making money even while traveling, and your money is working for you. You also have to start thinking about doing other side hustle, other things that can actually bring you income while you are doing your active full-time employment. The next thing is, after you've been able to make that money, now you need to start thinking about saving. I know people will say, hey, one thing I always hear anytime I talk about budgeting to people, they say, I never chop finish. I'm saying this in pidgin. I never chop it. They tell me make I invest or make I save. That's why I always talk about earning first, because income is very important. If you don't make money, you can't think about saving, you can't think about investing. You are just here thinking about survival. So earning is very important. But once you start earning, you need to move to the next stage, which is you thinking about saving. First thing is for you to plan and budget your money. I feel like every time people think about a budget, they see it as a restraint. Like, oh, like they're surviving or they're just hanging in their discipline. All this, people like to attach this negative connotation towards budgeting, making it sound like it's something that is like prison. But it's not. Your budget is supposed to help you guide to your destination. Think of your budget as a financial roadmap. You have a destination, you're going somewhere, and you need a GPS. But your budget is just your financial GPS. That's literally it. It helps you know the destination you're going to. It helps you see where your money is coming from and where your money is going to. That's literally it. But next, apart from you just managing your money, budgeting and putting money into all these things, you also have to think automation, because it makes it so much easy. I have my bills automated, my phone plan, my rent, everything is literally automated. If I sleep for the next 2 weeks and I'm not doing anything, all this money is going to the right places. I know my investment is automated. I know my bills is automated. My savings is automated. And my expenses are also automated. If you have any of these things automated right now, please give me a yes in chat. Do you have a bill, saving, investment, your expense, anything currently automated? Give me a yes in chat. I want to hear from you. Next thing is for you to start planning for financial independence, because it's not enough for you to earn. Now you know this, that as you're earning, you also have to be thinking and saving and strategizing all these other things alongside. You have to start planning for financial independence. And it's not just about you working multiple jobs or having multiple income streams. You now need to start thinking long-term, thinking future. And that is where investing comes in. Why should you invest? Why is investing important? One, saving is never enough. No matter how much money you save, it's never going to be enough. I have a chart here that will explain another reason why saving is very important. Over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, the price of a cup of coffee has increased significantly over the years. In the 1970s, a cup of coffee was going for 25 cents. Today, 25 cents can't even buy you a bubble gum. What does that mean? Inflation. The value of what your money can buy today is not the same as what it can buy tomorrow. So every single day, your money is losing value. So it's not enough for you to just say, oh, I'm putting money in my bank, I'm saving money. That's not enough. You need to start thinking, investing. You need to start making your money work for you. That is where the true wealth lies. If you save money in your bank account, I put this chart on the side here as well, the difference between saving and investing. When you save, your money grows on a linear curve, like straight like this. That's it. If you don't add money, your money is not going to grow. It's just going to stay there. However, when it comes to investing, it grows exponentially, because now you can enjoy the power of compound interest. Your profit is going on top of your profit. Your returns or your interest is growing additional interest. And that is how your money grows sporadically. It grows very, very fast. So if you are here today and you've never thought about investing, or it's something that you just feel like, oh my gosh, I'll do it later. There is never a later. The best time to start is today. You don't need to wait till you are earning all the money in the world for you to start investing, because you can literally start investing from today with as little as $50. When I started investing, I was literally making $16 an hour. $16 an hour right now is not even enough for minimum wage. Minimum wage is higher, right? But you can start even with the little you earn. Don't wait to say, oh, when I start making six figures, because the thing about habit is you have to cultivate it from the easiest time. You might think that when I start making more money, I will start investing. But you need to learn that habit from now. Once you master that habit, what will change when you start making more money is the amount of money you invest. But you've built that knowledge, you've built that skill, you've built that habit from now. So if you are here today and you've never thought about investing, this is me telling you that you have to. It's also very important for us to change the narrative. And that's why I want to go to this part, where I want us to shift from just surviving, thinking, oh, because we are already at a disadvantage, it's over, it's done for me. No, it's not. You can change your story. You can change your family story. You can change everyone around you just by you making that significant impact, just that decision. That there was one time I woke up one day and I say, from today, all of the things that have happened to me in my past, they no longer matter. Why can I do that? It's in my hands. I can decide from today that all these things that have happened to me, my trauma, my childhood, my whatever, everything, I'm putting it behind. And I'm a new person from today. How can I do that? All of these things is in my power. I can decide to see all of these past experiences that I've had and hold on to it and not take my life and continue to wallow in pain, cry, and be sad and everything else. But I can also decide to say, okay, you know what? All of those things, I'm going to pretend they never happened. And from today on, I'm a new person. And that's it. If I tell you I'm a new person, I'm a new person. You have to take me as I am. Right? So from today, you need to start getting intentional to learn, to let go of those things that has happened to us and now shift your mindset from surviving to thriving. And the first thing you need to do is to take financial literacy as a very, very important thing. If Canada is not where you were born, you immigrated here, or maybe you were even born here, but your parents never taught you how to manage money, you can change your future. You can change your knowledge. There's so much resources out there for you today to help you learn financial literacy. There's so much resources out there for you to learn how to master your credits. So all of these things is now in your hands for you to, learn the skill, learn what it takes, and position yourself strategically. You also need to shift from the mindset of being a consumer. Enough of buying and buying and buying. All of these things you are just taking from yourself and putting money in the pocket of others. You need to shift your mindset from overconsumption, consumerism, all of these things. You are just profiting these companies because guess what? These companies, it is upon them, it's their responsibility to come up with new product every single day so that you can buy and they can take money. They are running a company, they are running a business, they need to pay their shareholders, but it's not upon you to continue to give them your money and let them make more profit. It is up to you to discern and say, do I really need this? And that is why you need to have a budget. You need to start shifting before you give your money out to spend money on something. Ask yourself, have I invested in myself and my future self? Ask yourself that question. You also need to start leveraging resources that are out there for you because guess what? There is a lot of resources out there. But a lot of times people don't even know what is out there for them. Start attending community program. We put this together, me and the other ladies, we put this together, but guess what? We had over 100 people register for this. Let me go into it. We had over 100 people register for this. How many people are here today? Only about 30. And we put in so much energy, so much time, so much resources to make this for free. This is us putting together resources and hacks and resources and value for our community. But today, where are the people? They are nowhere to be found. So now next time, if we say, oh, no, we are not going to do this, or next time we are going to put a price tag to it to say you have to pay for this, would that be better? No. We're trying to give value here, but you need to take advantage of every resources that is out there and available for you. Anyway, let's get into your next smart money move because I don't want to keep talking on and on and on. I want to leave you with actionable insight and tips to help you truly master your finances and change your financial future. The first thing is for you to, one, we talked about stopping with this overconsumption. Put things like if you don't need it, you don't need it. Don't buy it. Before you check out that cart, leave it there. If it's at night, if you are very used to scrolling on your phone at night and buying things, add it to your cart and put your phone away and sleep. Wait for the next 24 hours before you decide to make that purchase. If you end up not buying it, then leave it alone. If you end up realizing you don't need it, then leave it alone. Before you make that spend or put that money towards something that might not add value to your future, ask yourself, have I invested in myself? Have I invested in my kids? Have I invested in my own future? Ask yourself these questions first before you go ahead to start spending on this thing. So the first thing I want you to start doing now, if you're someone out there that has not started investing, this is your time to start. Open an investment account. I literally did an investing masterclass a few weeks ago. I'll probably have another one in the coming weeks or months or so. But these are ways for you to learn how to start putting your money towards great use. Open an investment account. Start with investing. Start easy. Buy ETFs. These are low risk. Buy index fund. They are low cost. Put your money towards something so that you can generate more wealth and grow it exponentially. Next is for you to think about ways to increase your income stream. Again, I don't want you to rely on just one income source. You need to think about how you can expand and make more money for yourself. Think having multiple income streams. Think passive income because that is where the true wealth lies. You don't have to constantly chase and chase and chase. Think about that skill that you already have. Find ways to monetize it. The next for you to track and plan your finances. I'm going to say this again. Enough of the overspending. If you don't need it, don't spend money on it. If you can't afford it, don't go into debt for it. If you already have debt or credit card debt or something, figure out strategies to pay that off and not compile additional debt on top of it. Create a financial roadmap. If you don't have a budget already, this is me telling you that you need to sit down, take some time and budget and plan your finances. Every single month, I have a money date with myself where I look at my finances. I see how much money comes in and how much money I've spent. If I need to work harder the next month, or maybe I can't afford to buy some things that I already planned. So you need to spend that time with yourself, your family, your loved ones, sit down together and have that meeting where you are talking and looking into your finances. Trust me, it will be a huge game changer for you. I want you to remember this. Building wealth is a marathon and not a sprint. It is a continuous journey. You have to continue to do it consistently and show up and put in the work. It's not something that is an overnight success, but you need to show up and you need to do it. And you need to start today. If there is nothing you're going to start with this today. Start with thinking about budgeting. If you don't have a budget spreadsheet, I literally have free guides online. You can download my free budget spreadsheet. If you don't have, use the pen and paper method. Look at how much am I making, how much am I spending. If you don't even know already for this month, think about last month. Assess your financial situation and see, are you spending more than you are earning? If you're spending more than you are earning, then you know there's a problem. You need to now think about ways to make extra money. And it's also very important for you to utilize the power of community. I've been in a community where people share the like new grants for Canadians, and I was able to apply for that. And I've also seen grants that other people, I shared it to other people, and they got in and they benefited from it. Leverage the power of community, because trust me, we can't do this alone. You don't have it all. You don't know it all. I don't know it all. And that's why I learned from the other people in my community. I learned from my peers. I learned from people around me. Anyway, I'm going to leave you here with this today. Take note if you haven't. Follow me on social media. My name is WhizQueen, Wiz_Queen on Instagram. I create content on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, all platforms. You can find me with this handle. And I would like to introduce you or encourage you to join my community. It is called Smart Money Group. It's my exclusive community where we transform our finances and build wealth together as a community. Every single month, we meet and we address new topics, learning new skills. We bring in guest speakers where people can, learn. They also get to ask questions. We pick new topics every month. Last month, we had a session on budgeting and money management. This month, we are having a session on career development. Next month, we are having a session on taxes, because it's going to be tax season. We have tax professionals coming in to help people file their tax and also learn about tax filing. So scan the QR code for less than the price of a cup of coffee. You literally buy a cup of coffee for how much? $5 or something. In a month, you're spending $15 or less to join a community where you get unlimited resources to help you build and transform your wealth. This is the place to be. Okay, I'm going to leave you here with this. The link is in chat. If you are yet to find it, you can scan the QR code that I have on screen. Go ahead and join. If you have questions anytime, feel free to reach out to me on social media. I'm very active on all platforms and always happy to take your question. I wanted to do a quick community walkthrough, but we don't have the time right now. But if you have questions whenever, just let me know. Scan the QR code and the link is also in chat. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to all of my all the things I had to share today. I'm going to pass it on to Bab to continue with the Q&A session.
Yes, thank you so much, Bisola. I've been writing and just the quotes from your conversation, there are a lot. I like that you said building wealth is a marathon, is not a sprint, because sometimes we are looking for quick magic, right? What happens, what's happening, how much have I made today? It's like you didn't dig yourself into debt in one day, so you can't dig yourself out of it in one day as well. So really, really good. And I see so many reactions to your talk in the chat as well. Thank you for that. So this is the Q&A session. I know we've stayed over time, so I would say we will give opportunity for 2 questions. So if you have any question, put it in the chat very quickly. But one came already. It says, how can someone who doesn't have anything to offer? I'm putting that in quotation mark because everybody has something, right? But who thinks they have nothing to offer? How can you network strategically? How can you network successfully? So that's going to go to Tayo. Can you break that down in like a minute?
Okay.
And let's help that person with that answer.
Okay. I think, first of all, thank you very much for putting that in quotes because I don't believe that we as human beings, we have nothing to offer. I think that that individual needs to, first of all, do some work, self-assessment,
Yeah.
self-awareness. And if you can't do it, reach out to people you trust within your cycle of influence to say what comes to mind when you think about me. Like what comes to mind? I'm so sure because things like me calling myself networking queen, community builder,
Mm-hmm.
literally was from people telling me that when I think about you, Tayo, this is what I think about. And I was like, okay, I better leverage on that. And some people need people to tell them. So you reach out to people in your community. I'll give you an example very quickly. There's an individual in my organization that is really, really tall. And I met him casually. And then that day I just said, excuse me, please, can you help me take a picture of me and with some colleagues? And if you see the awesome view that he took of the picture, it was as if we used some kind of I don't know what angle to take the picture because it's so tall. And
Yeah.
this individual too has a problem networking. I said, you better leverage on that. And when you go for an event, just say, when you see people taking selfies, you say, I can take your picture. And people are all about personal brand now these days.
Yeah.
So imagine me meeting someone like me. Because of that picture he took of me, I've invited him for 2 events I didn't know about in my organization. And we're in the same. So I was like, are you aware of this? Sign up now. There's a in person. That's because I know that, and interestingly, this person is on the call. And I know that he has value and he can add that value to people's lives. So we all have that. We need to leverage on people around us that we can trust to tell us exactly what that value is so that we can run with it very quickly. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Tayo. Everybody has value. Dig deep, find the value, and then you can leverage on it to get to the next level. So, but you have to really find the value. Second question, very quickly. This is saying somebody asked it on the chat, so maybe so I can just throw some light on it. Say, how do I automate everything around me? Because you've spoken about automation. I did give them some tips, but I'm sending it back to you, the expert here, to help just talk about automation.
100%. I'm happy to talk about this. So, the first thing you want to automate when it comes to your finances is your savings. So once you have your budget already, you know how much money you need to spend. You also know how much money you have to save. So once you have that figured out, set a specific amount of money going into maybe your high interest savings account, your TFSA, or your retirement savings. Just figure out that amount, $200, automate it already. Once you go into your bank app, they have a system where you can schedule amount of money going out in advance. Another thing is if you already have a brokerage platform, they would allow you automatically save money, like invest money. Some brokerage like Wealth Simple, for example, they automatically allow you take money from your paycheck to invest it. So by the time your paycheck is coming into your bank account, what you are receiving is what is left. And I love that system because now you're only spending the amount of money that you have left. You have already invested in yourself first, which is most important. You need to invest in yourself first before you start thinking about paying
Yeah.
your landlord, paying all these people, your phone provider, and all that. Next is for you to automate things like your rent. If you can schedule that, go ahead. I use CheckZ to automate my rent payments because I pay with my credit card and I get extra points and cash back because I
Mhm.
have to maximize my money. Okay. So that's also a good way for you to automate, or you can even schedule it on your bank app. I know with Interact, you can schedule rent ahead of time. Do that, and you can also schedule other payments. Then things like your phone bills, your utility, just have those set up automatically because when you do, you don't have to continue constantly thinking about you wouldn't have idle cash in your bank. Your money, or every money that you have is going towards something. You are investing, you're saving, you're paying your bills, you're paying your expenses, and everything is gone. So if you log into your bank app, most times you probably see just what you have left, $200, $300, and you can do whatever you want with that. But if you log into your account and you see all the money there, the next thing you spend it, and before
Mhm.
you realize, you're not thinking, Hey, how do I pay rent this month? You want to prioritize yourself first, and that's what automating does for you.
Yes, thank you so much for that. So the last question I think is coming to me says, how can I transition from my survival job to my professional field when employers keep asking for Canadian experience? I'll just talk about it really quickly. Survival job is not bad because when you relocate, it's one of the vows you've taken as a new person, as an immigrant, to be able to take some steps lower before going on the launch pad. So how do you transition from that when they're asking for experience? There's so many ways you can do that, but one of the ways to do that is volunteering. Labor is very expensive here in Canada. If you have a particular skill set and you're able to volunteer that skill set, that is one way to start building your portfolio towards the field you're going. I have somebody that when I was just trying to launch a company, a consulting company. This person who just got in from Nigeria, and they said, "Oh, I can do everything social media for you." Somebody else said, "Oh, I can do all the website thing for you." We are a company, so every time this person is going for a job, we are right there. The company name is there. Somewhere this person has worked for 7 months and built our website, built all our marketing plans, volunteering. At some point, I'm like, do I need to pay you something? Because it was such a great job. So it's one way to do it. Everything is not about money, especially if you're a new immigrant. You have to go outside your comfort zone. It could be going somewhere to work for an hour, to giving your time there. That way, they're able to give you back the name of their company for credibility that this person has done this excellently well. So volunteering is one way. Internship is another way. A lot of the time you go and do these courses, this certification boot camps. If possible, find a way to get internship while doing that, because that's one way to have very practical knowledge of what you've done. Classes are amazing, but when you're in the real world, it's like you've been thrown into the deep end very quickly. So internship is one thing that even during interviews, you can speak to your skills, you can speak to things you've done outside of those chat GPT answers, outside of Google answers. These are real life things. So those are the two best ways I can advise: internship, volunteering. They can start building your portfolio very quickly, and people will want that because it's almost free work you're giving to people. Okay, I hope that helps.
100%.
Yeah, so that's where I ended. I will hand it back to Bisola to close this up, but this has been very incredible. I'll just say my thank yous quickly. Thank you everyone for coming and joining us. Hope we can do this again for free maybe, but it's been really good.
Yes, let me give you a big round of applause here.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, now I
Actually,
have my
actually,
soundboard.
you're supposed to hand it over to me to
Yes,
round
I
up.
was going to do
Oh,
that just
okay,
earlier.
Taya. Sorry.
Go
That's
ahead and
okay.
finish off with the
Thank
closing.
you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you. I was so shocked when the person I was speaking about sent me a chat. I was like, oh my God, thank God I didn't say anything bad. But thank you very much, ladies. This was really great. I'm so happy about this collaboration for the
Mhm.
community. Barbara, you were awesome. Career moves, power moves, higher networking queen. Bisola financial queen. In fact, you're giving you a title. I would this is a call to action to all the people on the
Yeah.
call. Go out there and follow the people that are speaking. Myself, Barbara, follow us on social media. I know we've been putting our stuff, our links in the chat. Bisola is gonna send a post-event email. So for those that registered, you're gonna get it. You have more information about that. Also, I want you all to commit to one action. So it's either in your career, in networking, even those that are scared about networking, or in
Mm-hmm.
your finance. Remember everything that was said here. It's not a marathon. Sorry, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You take it a day at a time. The best time to start is now.
No.
Remember not to be transactional with your connections.
Mm-hmm.
Try to be transformational. That lead from a value point of view, not from what I will get always.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of your career, think about everything Bab said and how we can move from, we can try to use what we have to get what we want by volunteering, by taking courses, by doing internships and all that stuff. So ensure that I hope you guys are taking note, but I know that it's on YouTube, so you can go back and watch.